Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
Rebel soul child got a fist ball, I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They gon' knock him, tell him fess up, I get checked up, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless, yeah, I got next up, right, now we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to ride, you do better keeping it quiet, my pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened, I like who I am, but I'm biased, the palette is right, and my drip is a fountain, I'm not like these regular guys, all of that talk is misguided, she like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim. I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch, the label cut the check like the Blazeman. Something sparking where his brain is. The beat is somewhere where they prayers in. Geronimo, the way I make the bass jump with no parachute.
Man, we are back. Another episode of Throwing Hands. I'm happy to be back, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm definitely happy to be back too. Definitely been a minute since we've gotten back on Throwing Hands, huh?
Man, it's been a minute. I had a lot of stuff going on in between time, but we had some good stuff and some rocky stuff. But it's been going, right?
Yes, sir. Hey, it's a part of the grind, you know. It was a pretty dope break because we got to branch out to so many different promotions, meet so many great people, and like now we're over in boxing to Muay Thai, and it's really dope.
Yeah, no, I agree. Seen a lot of new faces, seen some familiar faces in other places that we weren't expecting to see, you know, and like you say, get to kind of spread around and get our feet wet in a few different other areas of combat sports, you know, that we weren't previously in. So you'll be seeing us a lot more OG boxing, Del Sol boxing. Of course, Ruff has an event coming up here in August, so you'll see us out there. And then we have another promotion that's coming back to Arizona for the first time, or the second time, UFL. So we will be there as well. Our boy Amun Cosme is going to have his second bout with the UFL, and that will be in Mesa, Arizona.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what? We got a guest too that I'm hoping if we see him in Arizona next month. And hey, let me tell you something. This guy is visceral, plentiful with his shots as he goes boom, boom. He be catching with kicks that go zoom, zoom. Limbs be flying so fast, he must be Flash. 1,000 punches land in just a moment's pass. Let's see, leaving you punch drunk using honey buns as pillows. Your brain is a willow as you fail every concussion test. You're a concussive mess as you jibber jabber. Meanwhile, he piecing you up with pitter patter. Your skull be dancing like Mick Jagger, but minus the swagger. Ladies and gentlemen, you better be ready to bet the bank. He's the one and only Alexander Shanks.
Yes, sir.
I like that. That was pretty dope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I fumble halfway through, but I stay committed.
All good.
How you doing, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We just got done training like maybe 30 minutes ago and came over here, took a quick shower, and now I'm ready.
Nice. I love the hair dye you got.
Oh, I appreciate it. My it's for like pancreatic cancer because that's like the color of the ribbon, and then also I just got my purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So
hey, nice. So jiu-jitsu, you got your purple belt. How long you been doing jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu, I feel like I've been doing it forever. Maybe like 5-6 years I've been doing jiu-jitsu, and actually like, you know, being ranked in it. I did jiu-jitsu a little bit as a kid, but wasn't nothing really serious. It's all karate until, you know, 16, 17.
Nice.
Okay. So how long did it take you to get your belt?
The jiu-jitsu belt, purple belt?
Yeah, how because I know some people, like, the time varies depending on their consistency, how much they show up and how much work and progress they show.
Yeah, 100%. So it's weird. So I have a new professor. His name is Michael Mills. He gave me my blue belt maybe last year or the year before. And then it's because like I submitted this guy as an amateur who's a brown belt. I submitted him with a standing guillotine. And then and he gave me the blue belt then. And then this year, I just had my bare knuckle MMA fight in May of this year. And I submitted that guy. And then so he gave me a purple belt for that performance. And so maybe 2 years, a year, something like that, took me to get a purple belt.
Nice, nice. That's actually a really good. I know some guys like across the years, it's taken probably about like 3, 4 years, just because especially that consistency and then your ability to apply in real time practice.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
100%. The running and choke I did was exactly how my professor showed me because rather than
Hey,
doing it behind the head, you can pull it. So he told me to go palm to palm, elbow in the back, and that's what I did, and I got the finish. So first finish as a pro, but not even on my official MMA record.
oh man, that's dope though, because you got to do the Gamebred Bareknuckle MMA, right?
Right.
Yep, first one in Florida history and all that good stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Hey,
So how is it being a part of history? Because we've seen a lot of stuff going on lately. MMA has just been just expanding to just new heights. It seems like every year. So how was it? How did it feel to kind of be a part of something that you know is going to be monumental no matter what?
Oh, really cool. So like me and Jorge and like their little team have like a pretty cool relationship. Me and Aman, we fought the first Icon FC one with Jorge, and we fought that card. And then so I fought there, and that was his first event. And then I fought on the bare knuckle one, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was a lot of cool people. It was a nice venue, a lot of big celebrities. Kamaru Usman was there, and I
hey.
was like, I was looking in the crowd. I do that every fight of that magnitude. I was like looking in the crowd and just looking at people, and I was like, oh, there's Usman. I was like, after this fight, I'm saying something about him on the mic, so he has no choice but to take a picture with me. So that's what I went and did.
I love
So no, me too, man. I mean, you gotta capitalize on the opportunities to get your face out there, be seen. So Icon One, you get to rub shoulders with Jorge. There's a lot of other guys out there. Um, you know, I seen that you kind of have been through a few different promotions. What is it like bouncing around to different promotions, or not really having, like, so to speak, a home, so to speak, where everybody else does? Do you like that more, or do you kind of like being able to be around familiar scenery?
Honestly, I'm cool with whatever, man. I just be trying to fight, trying to make my money. If they paying me and they give me somebody to beat up, I don't really care. But right now, what my goal is just to go where giving me the most amount of money and the most exciting fight I can have. I'd rather have an exciting fight than fight somebody who I know is gonna be boring. And I want to go out there and excite. And I don't think I've ever had a boring fight, but I think I like to go out there and be exciting. So as long as I got an opponent that I think will bring the fight, and then as long as they're paying me right, I'm going wherever they send me. It don't matter to me. I like going. I like traveling, so it helps too.
Yeah, and what's really cool too is that because you've not only gotten to fight under Jorge's promotion, but you've also just recently fought under Anthony Pettis's. So you have you bouncing back and forth like that. You get to dabble in the different tiers of fighters that's in each promotion, but you're also able to be a part of so many stories with these new promotions bouncing up in the eyes they gather.
Yeah, 100%. Like my last fight, the GOAT was there. John Jones, he was there,
Hey,
and his manager Abraham was there, and I was talking to him after the fight and after the event, and then I just signed with First Mount Management. Maybe a month ago, I signed with him because of talking to him, and he thought I did pretty good and stuff like that. So I thought it was really cool that he liked me. Jones told me that I look real good in there. He said, keep it going. He said, I have a lot of
nice.
potential. So hearing that from the GOAT is pretty cool. It's pretty, it's like cool affirmation to get. So I liked it. I think it's fun. Anthony Pettis was cool. Just, I like to put on a show and be me. And, it's fun. It's fun overall.
Yeah. Now, what exactly was the start to this passion of yours?
MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what got you inspired as a kid for it?
Oh, so it's a quite a story. So the beginning, when I was 8 years old, that's when I started karate. I got bullied from the first grade to the eighth grade, and because I like WWE and I like stuff like that, and I would lie to people and be like, and because I was embarrassed about the WWE thing, I'm like, yeah, I want to be in the UFC, and then eventually I actually wanted to be in there, but my mom put me in karate at 8 years old, and I was getting beat up every day, and then the karate I just didn't have the confidence at first. And then I started training karate, started getting good, started winning a few tournaments. Then at 16 years old, one of my coaches, Jacob Kilburn, he's also a fighter. He fought for the UFC, PFL, and I seen one of his fights, and it was here in Tennessee in Nashville. And he went out there and knocked the dude out, and he started in karate, and he was getting bullied, and he was, had a similar beginning as me, and then he went on, fought, and did good. And I seen that fight, and after I seen his fight, I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. And then that one made me want to do MMA. And then I seen GSP. He has a karate background, started fighting, was bullied, and that made me want to be UFC and become the best in the world. GSP. So.
That says a lot. And we always talk that, because that brings me to a big point, is we always talk about kids in general, and how much nowadays the youth needs role models and needs people to look up to, because there's so many distractions that we didn't have the same amount of distractions when we were kids. We still played outside, we still rode bikes, we were still like BMX bikes, who got the best one, you know what I mean? Like, it was still real kid stuff that you see on movies nowadays. You don't really see out in the streets. So that does bring me to a point, to a question with you is, the impact that it has, you being able to look up and see something that resembles your life in some sort of way, or you can say, I relate to that, like in a strong manner. How much does that mean to you, to your progression, to where you're at, and does that still drive you today?
Yeah. So, as most people in a situation like me, I didn't have a dad, or I didn't really have a father figure for a long time. So I kind of was just looking for anything, any type of motivation, any type of like goal, because I had a lot of things that I seen in my life that was the wrong way. That was drugs, gang violence, stuff like that, and just stuff that I didn't want to be part of. I seen what it did to people, and I didn't like that. And so just the people that I've seen, Jacob Kilburn, George St. Pierre, those type of people, I've seen somebody who's doing something that I also like, that was also in a bad position, that also was able to make it and make something of themselves. And so till this day, people like Jacob and people like GSP and Alexander Volkanovski now, people are like, they're motivating me. Just Alex Volkanovski, just because he's so great, and that's like motivation to me, because he's in my weight class and I want to be better than him. So that's motivating. And then Jacob and George St. Pierre, just because I feel like they live a pretty true to life martial arts lifestyle. They motivate me today. They make me disciplined. I train every day, no matter what, working 58 hours a week, taking care of my son, everything, and still go and train, still fight. So, they motivated me to be disciplined as I can be.
Yeah, and I really like that response too, because I was actually just talking to somebody else who's going to be making his amateur boxing debut, and we're talking about, it's like, with the hardships that you face and you having to go through seeing that stuff, but you chose the better route, and you had the opportunity to see yourself, and what you do now is an opportunity for other kids that was in that position to break free from that.
Yeah,
100%. I think that people have like an excuse of, I was brought up this way, and I seen in my life, all I seen was bad and negative and this and that. And I just feel like that's an excuse. I feel like Mike Holloway said, there's somebody in your position where you want to be. So I feel like if you really, really want it, if you really want something, you'll have it. So I feel like all of those distractions and things are just, exactly that, distraction. They don't really mean nothing. They're just there. It's your life, your choice, your path. You write it. What you want to do is what you'll do. If you want to go and be dumb and smoke and drink and get into fights and go to jail, do that. But if you don't want to do that, then decide not to do that. Say no. No is a powerful word, and it's easy, simple. No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, no, and you hit the nail on the coffin too, because I talk with a lot of guys, and that come from a bad environment, that come from, like you said, limited positive outlets, not having a father figure, not having a role model around, and a lot of these guys are very successful. Was it rocky? Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's no way to sugarcoat that. It was rocky on the way up, but everyone is kind of like what you said, at some point decided they didn't like where they were at. They didn't want to continue on with the same things that they did see. from that environment they grew up in. And you're right, that no started coming, and not returning to those same spots and changing your path necessarily. So it's great to be able to talk to guys that are still, putting in the work every day to remain successful, remain headed towards their goals, and stay away from those type of things.
100%. I think as long as you keep your head on, you have a goal, you go for that goal. I think everything else is easy. Everything else is smooth. Of course, it'll be hard, but in the concept, everything else is smooth.
Yeah. Nice. And so with now, I always like to, I like.
Real quick, Josh, no, but that part is what we're saying. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. You're either going to eat and move forward and progress to where you want to go, or you're going to starve and be left behind and end up in the same position that, you dreaded growing up, or you didn't like what you've seen and were living that way. So everyone has the same 24 hours, and we all have, like you said, that ability to say no, that ability to change and go the other way and change your path.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because it gives you, we're always motivated by storytelling. Like you even go as far as back as Beowulf, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And for people in battle and people fighting, there's always been a greater sense of writing your story, creating an epic that's able to inspire not only so many people, but to give them the motivation and the discipline to find their own way, teach them how to be able to help themselves in the extent of how to say no, how to break free from that type of life and choose a better one and unlock your fullest potential. Right.
100%. And that goes a long way to what we were just talking about of being a leader, a role model, someone that kids can look up to as well, because they also need that. They also need that outlet that says, man, he was here with where I was. He lived right here. He went to the same schools. He went to the same things. He did the same, like you said, I was able to look up at this fighter and say, hey, he was bullied. He did karate. He did, and this is what I want to go towards.
Yeah, I think that stuff is cool. I just like first off, I seen like this little video of George St. Pierre. It was like a tribute type thing. And man, I don't care. Nobody say. George St. Pierre is one of the dopest fighters there, and he just so disciplined, and he was always so humble. No matter what the person said, he was always there, and he was always worked hard, always fought hard, and I just thought that was cool, and I just try to be the best version of me, but also take the things from George St. Pierre and the greats and stuff, and shout out to my guy George St. Pierre. I love that dude.
What cracks me up about George St. Pierre is all those compilation videos where it's like he's the ladies' man, and it's like all the female reporters just like eyeballing him, and he's just cracking up.
He was just so crispy all the time. Like George never missed a beat, no matter what it was. I mean, he just looked crispy. Somebody will take him down, and he looked better falling to the ground than the dude that taking him down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just looked crispy in everything that George St. Pierre did. Like, by far, bro.
Agreed.
So I do have a question. So we're going. You're on a 2-fight win streak. You said that you were kind of upset about the bare knuckle being not on your MMA record, but hey, they know now, right?
Yep.
What was more satisfying? Because I've seen you knock people out a few times. What was more satisfying, the KO or that rear naked choke?
Honestly, probably the submission, just because people see me as a striker and they're like, oh, he's a striker. He's going to go out there and just try to kick somebody. But so maybe like this, that being able to choke somebody and, out grapple somebody, I thought that was pretty cool to just put that little on there like, hey, I can grapple too. Don't sleep on me.
Yeah, because I mean, like guys, especially, they're just like naturally have some sense of wrestling, and getting in the shot to knock them out is in one category. And then also when you're trying to submit somebody, that's going to require a lot more strength exertion. That's a much tighter space to be able to squeeze in underneath the neck, get underneath the chin, all that.
Yeah. And it puts people on notice. They don't want to go in with the striker and the striker end up, like you said, choking him out. And the next fight, they'll be like, man, I don't even know. I don't know what to do. Do I take him down? So and that goes a long way. You adding those things on your resume, man, it puts psychological warfare in people's heads that you don't even gotta push.
Yeah, like another thing about the submission is like I feel like a knockout, you don't really have the choice to go out there and if you're getting punched, you don't have the choice. Like, no, I'm not going to sleep. You just go to sleep. A submission, I'm putting it in there. I'm choking you, and we're both in the agreement that, like, all right, you're better than me. You win. And that's what I feel. When somebody's tapping, you're like, okay, you're better than me. You win the fight. And he's given up. He gave up is why I think the submission was also better. Because when you knock somebody out, like I said, they don't have a choice. They just go to sleep. The lights off. But when you're submitting them, you give them the opportunity. Do you want to fight or you want to leave? And he tapped. So I thought that was also, empowering and, felt dominant and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like cartoons where you see the dude, the white flag like pops up after he gets blown up.
Exactly, and too, it shows to your opponents as well that you're a multifaceted individual. It puts them on edge because they don't understand fully whether or not your game is going to go in and knock them out, or if it's to get them on the ground, submit them, or against the cage, and anything else.
Yeah, I agree. My goal. Literally, my goal is to be a different person every fight. If I believe if you watch from my first MMA amateur fight until now, and you watch every fight up until then, it's a different person in the cage every fight. And I believe that's what is like my edge. And that's also why I like taking like short notice fights, because I feel like it's super hard for somebody to prepare for something they don't know what's going to come on short notice. And that's why I feel like I'm a problem on a short notice opportunity. Like Nashville is coming, UFC is coming to Nashville August 5th. And I would love somebody to pull out and they say, hey, Alexander Schenk, you want to take this guy's spot? And I just feel like I'm super tricky to prepare for on short notice.
So now as much as it's super tricky for them to prepare for you, why do you feel like you have the edge going in with the same amount of time?
So this is all disrespect or whatever you want to say. I believe that everybody that I fight are the same. You're either going to stand there and punch and kick, or everybody that fights me, they have the same mindset. Take them down. Take them down. That's what everybody thinks. So all I got to know is, what's this guy going to do? Try to take me down. He's not going to do anything crazy. He's not going to do a spinning kick, and he's not going to do something I've never seen. He's going to go out there and wrestle. That's all he's going to do. He's not going to do nothing I've never seen. So that's why I feel I have the advantage, because I feel I'm dynamic. Not many people fight like me, but most of my opponents, everybody fights like them. So
absolutely. And I'm curious too, because I remember in the live stream when I think it was the Whitaker versus Duplessis fight card where you were on with the Moon. And we saw a little bit in the chat that may potentially be some conversation with UFL too.
Yeah, definitely. So my guy, Aman, I gotta put on for him. We fought, and I told somebody else, like, I don't never see myself being like a friend with somebody that fought. Like, we fought. But then he's a pretty cool guy. He invited me to go train with him and let me stay in his house, and his own house. I thought that was crazy. And super nice guy. He's fighting for the UFL, like you guys said earlier. And he was talking about it. He was telling me, like, man, he was telling me about the UFL before, we ever did the live stream, just when I first got there. And I thought it was pretty cool. Everything he was telling me, the life insurance, I like the tournament-based brackets. I like tournaments because karate, we had tournaments. And then so he said, he said something. He was talking about it to them because he was like practicing or setting up for the live stream before it happened. And the guy told him, the Millions guy liked me. And then UFL was on the thing, and they hit me up, and they hit my manager up.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Technical difficulty. We'll wait for him to come back in. No, I'm glad we were able to get Alex on tonight.
Sorry.
There we go.
I had a phone call. Somebody just called me on the phone.
Hey.
You disturbing our live stream. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It was my mom, but It's okay.
Oh,
Hey, you guys show love to your mom. You guys show your love to your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's cool. She understands. I told her what's going on. But UFL, they hit up my manager, and now we're out here possibly fighting soon. I'm trying to fight as soon as I can. I've been itching to punch somebody. I like to be pretty active. I fought bare knuckle May, then I had a regular MMA fight June, and I would have liked to fight again. And right, I just like to fight and fight and fight. Especially because most of my fights I don't take damage. I don't get hurt. So
So
why
you have
not
an
go
easy
back out there?
turnaround.
Exactly. Why not go back out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that brings me to another point, being a striker, this early in your career, knowing, looking at the previous batch that just left, there's a lot of guys that took a lot of damage, over their career. And we kind of have seen not so much yet of the fighting side of it, but we've seen boxers, we've seen NFL players, we've seen guys that take a lot of damage. So being a striker, that's one thing that obviously you want to stay away from is the damage portion. But does that set in, and is that ever a thought in your mind when you're preparing, maybe in up for a fight, or even in the octagon itself? Or are those even things that run through your mind?
To be honest, I go out there. I train because the name of fighting is hit and not get hit. So I train to hit and not get hit. But I can take a hit. I don't care if I get hit. But I'm not going to go out there and be like, yeah, hit me, man. Why not? But
Yeah.
I'm going out there to be defensively sound, but also hit him and then not be there when he hits me. My last fight, the guy, he was slower, but he was tough guy. And so when he came in, I would just stand there and I would trade with him, fight with him in the pocket, but then I would be gone. And then I would be gone. And I usually don't get hit. I've never been hit clean before in a fight yet where I was like, whoa. Or if I did, I just took it like a G. But I've never got hit in a fight and it was like, whoa, I'm rocked.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Every time I've ever been hit is pretty like a graze or something like that. And like even my last loss, the guy that beat me, nothing hurt. I stood up and I was like, is the round over? And he was like, no, man, you're done. And I was like, oh. So I don't really take damage. And it's just because it's how I train. And I believe that's going to continue to happen as I train and now involve. And I train hard and I get hit hard in MMA and kickboxing and training. And I get hit hard, but I'm also training to not get hit. So once I go out there in a fight, I'm not getting hit.
That says a lot to what you were saying earlier with being able to take fights on short notice and being successful. I mean, hey, I don't know. I don't care how much time Mayweather has to prepare for a fight. With his defense, it don't matter how much time he had to prepare. He's not going to get hit that much. So you're right. That does go a long way, which I'm not sure people. A lot of fighters are training that way. I don't hear it like that very often.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I that makes me think of Stephen Wonderboy too, because he always trains with that mindset of hitting without getting hit. And especially with you being so young in your career, the more that you're able to capitalize on that success, the more of the longevity and the greater career that you have. It's because with the fast turnaround you have, since the fact you're not taking so much damage, now you only get to compound more on that story you're building.
Right.
Yep. And Demetrius Johnson, actually, another GOAT. He's the one that is he always says fighting is about hitting and not getting hit, and so that's just literally my goal, because I go out there and I prepare to not get hit, but I'm prepared to go all 3 rounds and have a war, but I'm also prepared to go out there and make it look easy, go out there and not get touched. I'm always prepared to do that. My bare knuckle MMA fight, guy didn't touch me, he didn't land one strike, but I prepared to do that. And people were surprised that it happened, but I wasn't. I was like, I know I'm this good. I'm good enough to go out there and not get touched every time. Exactly.
Right. That does, go a long way though. Later on, because like we talk about, or forget what we talk about, that's what fighting is. It's about how much experience do you have in this area? How much experience do you have in this area? That's where the belts come into play. That's how you graduate, right? So being able to say, hey, I'm 30 fights into my pro career and my damage bar is like this. You know what I mean? Like that goes so far later on in your career when you want to reach the heights that GSP, Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva, all the GOATs we've talked about, they have a long resume of fights. And if they were taking damage like a lot of people do in those earlier stages, there wouldn't have been as much gas in the tank for those later stages.
I agree. I think that defense is the most important part of fighting. Like they say in football, defense wins championships. In fighting, defense don't win championships, but it helps you get to the championships, helps you get to the ability to fight for the championship. And like I said, I have a son, and I just want to be there for him. And I want to be able to, go out there, play with him, enjoy life with him, and where I'm not hurt or can't form a sentence, things like that. I just want to be able to be there for him so he can have a better life with a functional dad.
Right. How old's your son?
My son is he'll be 9 months the 27th.
Oh man.
Nice.
The following of August.
So how is it with balancing a family life and having your son also with fighting, going to your training, your weight cuts, and then having to travel and compete?
It's definitely not easy. I'm a pipe fitter. I'm a pipe fitter as my job, my main job. We work 58 hours a week, and sometimes we work every day. And then I also am an instructor at my gym, and so it's not easy. But you got to do what you got to do. Like I said, there's somebody in my position where I want to be. So I do it to the best of my ability. My girlfriend, Dariana, she's the number one factor on why I'm able to do a lot of the stuff that I can do is because one, she motivates me. She pushes me to train. My girlfriend actually just texted me. She said, he turns 9 months. The baby turns 9 months Thursday, not next month. Anyway. So that happened. But so I just, don't even remember what I was talking about.
No, so you were explaining it's the human side of fighting that casual fans, that people don't necessarily see, is the fact that you're 4-2 right now as a pro. You have a 9-month-old, or about to be a 9-month-old, and on top of it, you're also working 58-hour weeks, instructing classes and training on top of it. And time and time again, it's the utmost praise because of the adversity that you are going through and the sacrifice you're making for that glory, because that part of the, not necessarily just chasing the end goal, but reaching the destination where you want, that spot where the other person is, will now bring the rewards back to everyone else.
Yeah. So like I said, my girlfriend, she's the truth. She watches my son when I'm working or if I'm training, and then she brings him to the gym because I like him watching me, and he enjoys to watch. I dropped a video. You can't hear the sound in the video, but we were doing this thing called 3 rounds of hell, and it simulates a fight with somebody in the middle and everybody fresh is churning in on you. And there's one point where people are just trying to take me down, and there's somebody that took me down, and I jump over the guy as he's taking me down, and my son starts clapping, and I thought it was so funny. So he likes being there, and I like him being there, and then my girlfriend helps me by taking care of him and holding it down with him, and then allows me to train because she knows and she believes in me that once I make it where I want to make it, that we'll all be good. And then like I said, I wouldn't, if I could, I would not work at all, and I would just train, take care of my baby, and fight. But you got to start here to get there. So I'm doing that, and it's nothing crazy. What I'm doing is not crazy. Probably every fighter is doing the exact same thing I'm doing. So it's not crazy. It's crazy to a normal person, but this is very, very normal to fighters.
Yeah. And we talk about it too a lot on the show, is that a lot of people don't know. They don't know. Like they're surprised, like, to the average fan out there, they're surprised right now listening, because they don't understand how much sacrifice, how much hard work, how much dedication that you guys have to go put in and go through. Not today, not tomorrow, not just yesterday, every single day. And we were Josh did an interview. He has a show called Josh Said What. And one of my really good friends that I grew up with, his name is King Haas. He did a show with him the other day, and King said, at the end of the day, I'm not motivated. Motivation is something that comes and goes. Motivation is something that may be here today. I'm motivated for a certain reason. Maybe like you said, your son's in the gym, your girl's there, your mom came out to see you. I'm motivated at that moment. But when the cameras are off and there's not the girl there, and my son's not there, and my mom's not there to increase that motivation at that time, that's not motivation anymore. That's dedication. And that's something that's totally different. You don't got to be motivated to be dedicated.
100%. And with me, what I see it as a kid, from a kid all the way until now, it was just it's for me, it's a lifestyle. As a kid, I went to school. Then after school, I did whatever sport I did. Then I would do karate, and then I would go home, eat, sleep, restart. And this is all I've been doing since I was 8 years old, all the way until I'm 22 now. So I've been doing it 8 years old to 22, all I've been doing. And so there's times like where the gym will be closed before I was an instructor, where the gym will be closed, and I wake up and I go to the gym just out of habit, just because I do it so much. But literally, it's just like a lifestyle for me. But like you said, it's motivation comes and goes. It's all about discipline, being dedicated, and consistency. Consistency will always bring back motivation, no matter what. If you're, motivated for a little bit, like I just ran 8 miles the other day, and I felt like it was the worst 8 miles I've ever did. And I was like, man.
I think somebody else calling.
Call Tyrone. I mean, I'm singing, doing little interludes.
Sorry about that again. Yep, another phone call. I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you popular guy, man. Popular guy.
But like I said, consistency will always bring your motivation. And if you're motivated, like I said, I just run 8 miles the other day, and I was telling somebody, I was like, yeah, it was a really bad 8 miles, man. I just wasn't motivated. And they was like, you weren't motivated, but you ran 8 miles. You have to be motivated for 8 miles. And I was like, no, I don't got to be motivated. I just run. And I felt like it would have been way better. I would have ran harder. I would have ran longer. But I just lost the motivation to, I didn't lose the motivation, but I just weren't motivated. I didn't want to run that day because running is so boring. All you're doing is running. And I just think it's the most boring thing in the world. And I don't listen to music or anything when I'm running, because when you're fighting, you're not going to have the music. David Goggins said, when you're out there in that war zone, you're not going to have music. You're not going to have music to listen to. So I don't listen to nothing. I just run. And I listen to the wind, listen to my thoughts. And it's just the most boring thing ever. And doing it for 8 miles is double boring.
Yeah.
I used to be a cross country runner, so I understand. I'd be out there trying to find anything to pay attention to. Like you said, you'd be listening to the wind, like, oh, when I do this, it sounds different.
It's really good though for the mental fortitude, because then you have, when you don't have the music playing, like you referenced with David Goggins, now you're going through your own psychological warfare, because like we always say, this sport is psychological. If you defeat the opponent before they even step into the cage, then boom, you've already won. And if you develop the mindset to where you could just hone yourself, become just full 100% sharp, ready to go, then you have the opportunity to just dominate.
100%. 100%. I think people say like fighting is this percent this. I think fighting is 100% mental, but I also think it's 100% physical. If you have 80% mental, 20%, whatever, that doesn't matter. You have to be 100% every time you fight. The times that you're not are the times that you might not necessarily win or lose, but you'll have a harder fight or a worse performance. So it's 100%. You got to be 100% in, or it's not going to be good.
Yeah. Right. And too, when you go through, like you said, you were motivated with that 8 mile run, you felt it was the worst. And it's like, You know, when things are going great, you know, you already know what the reaction is going to be. But when the going gets tough like that, then what are you going to do? Like James was just referring to his boy King Haas that I had on, and he said the same thing. You know, you put yourself through the 8 miles and you're still walking, you're still ready to go, you're still ready to step in that cage and throw some hands. No pun intended.
I like that. I like that. But yeah, man, like, and also I just like to fight. I just like to fight. Like sparring day is my favorite day of training. I just like to spar. I go to other gyms to spar, and fighting is just fun because I go in there and I just feel like I'm in a little zen and I be doing stuff, and people be like, "You're so creative. How do you come up with this? How do you come up with that?" I just literally just have fun. I went to, like I said, a Mun's gym, and we were sparring, and Anthony Pettis does a Showtime kick. Like he kicks off the cage and kicks people, and I was throwing the kick, but I wasn't using the cage. I was kicking off of the air, and then I was kicking people. And people are like, "What? Huh?" And they're like going crazy. And Aman was like, "I've never seen anybody double jump before." He said, "I get one jump and that's it." And so I'm just having fun. Like I said, I'm just having fun. There's times me and Amun was like, wrestling and stuff, and I'm running off the wall and trying to spin around and knee, and it's like I'm just having fun.
But that goes a long way, that's stuff that people, like you said, they've never seen it, so you can't do something you've never seen, right? So you visualize these things and are able to put it into reality, and that's something that, again, helps with what we were talking about, that spontaneousness, being able to take fights on short notice and adapt because you see it in your head different.
Yep. And with me, another reason I think I'm a difficult opponent for anybody is because I have no idea what I'm going to do when I'm in there. I don't have nothing planned. I just go out there and I'm like, well,
going ultra instinct mode.
Literally, like if I see this is opening, all right, I'm gonna throw that. If I'm punching you this way and you're going that way, I'm gonna probably spin. So I don't know what I'm doing. I just go out there and I just have fun, and whatever happens, happens. And so if I don't know what I'm doing, how do you know what I'm gonna do? So that's why I feel I'm a good fighter. I'm a difficult fighter.
You Dr. Strange over there, you know what I'm doing.
On God, yeah, on God. If somebody knows what I'm doing, all the better to them.
That's funny, man. That's funny. I am looking forward to it. I do hope that you end up out here. It's gonna be a short notice at this point, but I do hope that you end up out here when UFL pops up.
Hey, Harrison, I'm down to fight in UFL August 12th. I'm down to fight tomorrow, yesterday. You let me know. We can fight in 15 minutes. You let me know. I'm there. I'm down to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Literally.
You heard it, Harrison.
Some people say that. Some people say, I'm down to fight anybody. You can ask any promoter, any matchmaker that's ever had me fight for them. Anytime they send an offer over, first thing is yes. I don't look at the guy. I don't say nothing about the guy. I just say yes. Once they say, all right, cool, he accepted it too. A lot of people don't accept, but if they do accept, I'm literally will fight anybody. Corey Sandhagen, Umar just pulled out. I would have fought Umar because it's in Nashville. I would have fought Corey Sandhagen. It's in Nashville. I'll fight anybody, anytime. Literally.
Nice. And so whenever you come across these circumstances, are you the type to do research on your opponents and figure them out, or like some other fighters, how they just go into it in the dark, not concerned at all because they're so dynamic and prepared?
I'm definitely a student of the game. When I fight a person, I say yes first. I say yes because like I said, I've had a lot of fights where people don't accept the fight. So I say yes first, wait for the reply. Okay, this guy said yes. And then I study everything about that guy. I watch every fight they have multiple times. I pause, rewind, slow down. I know everything they do. I know everybody's tendencies. I know everything about my opponent. I know how they step. I know why they'll slip their head. I know when they'll start breathing hard. I know how many steps they're going to take to get into the cage. I know everything about everybody that I fight. And I think that's why I don't get hit a lot also, because I know what they're going to do. Like I said, because everybody's the same. Everybody fights the same. Everybody knows the 1, 2, 3. Everybody knows the same punches. Just the way you throw them or what's different. But if I know the way you're going to throw it, what's different?
Mm-hmm. That means that goes a long way, man. And how much does your corner play into your game in the octagon? How much does, because it seems like you got so much research into it. You know your fighters. You know what's going on. Um, you know what to expect. Like you said, if he's dipping this way, I know why he's doing that. So does your corner come into play in the octagon a lot as far as like, hey, we looked at this, or hey, remember this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's kind of weird now. So my head coach, my original head coach, just started his own gym, and so he no longer is my head coach. And I have nothing against him. I think he had a dream, and I told him to pursue it. That's what you want to do. But it's just a little too far away from me, so that's the only reason I don't go. I still go every once in a blue moon, but so currently I'm technically my own head coach. So, but before, my coach, like Jacob Kilburn, he's in Coconut Creek at ATT, but he comes to fights when he can. But my last few fights, it's just been me and one of my other coaches, who is George. And what he is doing is, in the back, he's telling me things that he thinks that this guy's going to do from what we've seen and what we watched. And then, like if the moment gets to me, if I get nervous or whatever, or if I'm tired, if I get tired, that's where my coaches really come in, and they really, because when you get tired, you forget everything. All that technique goes out the window. You don't know, you're not that good when you become tired. So that's what I like my coaches for. And then also, like, my coaches are seeing third person. I'm in their POV. I only see a certain angle. They see things that I don't see. So if I hear them say, hey, do this, then I'll go and do that. But also, like my last fight, on the feet, I had like zoned out. And it was just so easy. So I zoned out, which is kind of bad, kind of good. But I zoned out, so I didn't listen to a thing. But we started grappling, and then boom, my ears like opened up. And then I started listening to the coach. And my coach was telling me, George Byer, he told me that my last fight, he said, everything that I was saying, you were doing the opposite. He was like, he said, no body kicks, no body kicks. I switched southpaw, and 90% of the things I threw was body kicks. So I just thought it was funny. And he was like, that's kind of good. We're like speaking in code. Everybody's like hearing me say one thing, and you're doing the complete opposite. And like I said, it was just, I wasn't trying to I had zoned out, and I was just seeing what was there and throwing it.
Now, in lifetime like that, when you're in the midst of the fight, especially if you have a crowd going, and do you find it difficult to be able to stay also focused in on what your coaches and your cornermen are saying, or does it get a little too loud in there?
So for certain people, it's different, but for me, I don't hear nobody except for my coaches. Except for one time, one of my losses, it's a really bad fight. I heard everything. I heard a guy in the front row talking about, pass me a slice of pizza. And I was like, why did I hear that? And just like I heard everything that night, but most of the time I only hear my coaches, and I don't hear nothing else. But sometimes I start like picking up a lead and start winning and start getting comfortable. And then I hear stuff, and then I hear the oohs, the ahs, and that makes me do a little bit of extra stuff, a little bit more spins, a little bit more jumps, try to be a little bit more entertaining. My last fight, I threw a spinning hook kick, and I just barely missed the first one.
Oh.
But I heard everybody say, ooh, and I was like, all right, let's throw it again. And then I do it again. So.
Yeah, no, it does go a long way being exciting. I guess that's the best word to be, but creative in the octagon. Not only with the promoters that want to get you in there and on their promotion, but the fans. Like with all the different promotions out here nowadays, it's a little difficult unless you're a real fan to be able to follow your fighters through all the different promotions. So it's definitely goes a long way for the career to be creative in the octagon. It definitely does.
Yeah, like I said, martial arts, and I'm just the artist, and the cage is my canvas. As I go out there, have fun, do my little paint, Picasso.
So growing up, you said St. Pierre, you said Demetrius, you said a few different people. Who would you say influenced or is more like your fighting style that you can compare your fighting style to the most?
All right, so that's a good question because, like I said, nobody fights like me, but I could be lying. Um, O'Malley, currently right now, is probably my favorite fighter right now. O'Malley and Oliveira. They're my two favorite fighters, Charles Oliveira. And O'Malley, like you guys on your little introduction have the O'Malley Eddie Wineland where he jabs, fakes the uppercut, cross, and one of the most crazy things. But maybe O'Malley mixed with, I don't know, somebody else, a wrestler, maybe. I don't know. I feel like it couldn't be one singular person. It'd have to be a mix of people. I would say O'Malley and Demetrius Johnson, O'Malley and GSP, because I feel like I've got a pretty stiff jab, but then like O'Malley, I feel like I'm pretty flowy and creative in there. So, a mix of them three maybe.
Nice.
Okay, I like that.
Nice. And so if you could, out of anyone you could have in your corner, would you also want to pick Sean O'Malley, or was there anybody at all that you'd want in your corner as like a one-time deal?
Like anybody or a fighter?
Anybody at all.
If I could have anybody in my corner, it'd be one or two people. It would be either Faraz Sahabi or Eugene Behrman. Because Eugene Behrman, he takes what you're good at and makes you better at it. And one of them two people would be mine. Probably at the moment, Eugene Behrman, just because I like to fake and feint a lot. And that city kickboxing, that's like, they take that as an art. Faking and feinting is an art. So I would probably have to say Eugene Behrman.
Hey, I love that answer.
Yeah, no, I like that one too. It's different. We haven't had that one yet, so we're trying to add up some different answers. So I like that one. What is your go-to meal after a weight cut?
What shouldn't be my go-to meal is something healthy and whatever. But I'm one of the worst people. My diet is the only thing in life I'm not disciplined with or anything like that is my diet. I love food so much. I'm a foodie. Me and my friend just went to this place here in Clarksville called Kelly's Big Burger, and I got pancakes, French toast, and biscuits and gravy, and that was like just for me. But my favorite thing after a weight cut mostly depends on where I am, but I like pizza. I like pasta and pasta. So like spaghetti, stuff like that. I like stuff like that and pizza. Pizza is not good for you. Definitely fucks my stomach up. The day to fight, I got the rumble of guts. But pizza tastes so good and that pasta tastes so good. It's just hard to not. But I definitely am. I've been working on nutrition and getting it better, but it's hard. It's a hard fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you're a fighter that's got a sweet tooth. Oh yeah, that's trouble because all the sugar, all the extra carbs and everything.
Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. Like when I'm cutting weight, I watch videos of people eating food, and I just wish it was me. I was like, that looks good, and then it motivates me to lose the weight. But
isn't that like slight torture?
It is slight torture, but if it has to be uncomfortable. I have to be uncomfortable, but I like it. Like I watched a video of a guy eating the entire Olive Garden menu, and I was like, I'm gonna try that. So,
hey, pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds.
Yep. It must, man. It must. Pizza seems to be a common go-to after the weight cut. Pizza seems to be common, man.
It's a vegetable after all, right?
It must be. It must be. It's a rumble in the Bronx, changes to rumble in the octagon. No, man, but that's funny. So again, we always talk about, the youth, everything that we do at the end of the day. We do it for our kids, whether you have some or whether it's whether it's you have some or it's your uncle or your nieces and nephews or whatever it might be. So what do you say to the kids out there that are watching you right now or seeing you in the octagon and trying to grow and that maybe wanted to go into fighting or what have you? What do you say to those kids?
That's crazy. It's funny because like I feel like a kid still. I feel like I just graduated high school yesterday. But So it's weird to talk to a kid like that. But hey, if I was talking to a kid, because like I teach class and I teach kids, and a lot of them don't respect me because they're like, "Oh, he's my age," and I'm like, "I'm not your age, little whatever." But what I say to all kids is, if you have something and you truly want it, no matter what it is, you have to make sacrifices to do it. I make so many sacrifices with my family, with my body. Like I break things, I hurt things, and I still train because I know if my opponent or my future opponent or whatever opponent I have, if he breaks something, he's taking a day off, he's icing it, he's doing this. Not me. I'm 22. My body is still healing fast, so I abuse that a little too much. But I want the kids to, if you have a goal, make that goal a reality by speaking it every chance you get. I believe in speaking things into existence, and then also whatever you need to do, like whatever you need to get out of your life, get it out of your life, and try to surround yourself around people in the position you want to be, or with the same goals you want to be. Like I'm the only professional in my gym, and I'm really interested in going to another gym that has other UFC fighters, other people where I want to be. And that's what I think kids should do. Kids should find a group that wants to have the same mindset of you. And if you want something, Andrew Tate says, if you want something, you'll get it. Go out there and get it. If you truly want it, you'll have it.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a quote I always like to think back to that, you hit the nail on the coffin. It goes like, the child is the father of man. And that's, in a sense, if you keep that youthful, childlike spirit, even as you progress through adulthood, it means that you're always going to be open to changing, to become a better version, and to always develop it to unlock your furthest potential.
Right.
Yep, I agree. I think you just have, if you have a goal, you have to do it. And if you truly want it, I don't think nothing can stop you or should stop you. If you have a goal, go out there, do that thing, and don't make no excuses.
Right. Because you make excuse today, the other dude's not making excuse, you losing ground, and like you said, you want to do more than the next person, do more than your future opponents.
100%. There's an excuse for everything. There's always an excuse for something. So there's no need to make one. There's an excuse, do it with an excuse. Muhammad Ali said, if you don't believe you're the best, act like it. Act like you're the best. Act like you don't have that excuse. Act like you're not hurt. Act like you can do that. Act like you, whatever. Act like it. And eventually it'll happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you bring it to reality.
Fake it till you make it.
Right. But yeah, before we get out of here, anything that you want to say to anyone, any shout outs, anything that you want to leave?
Definitely. All of my sponsors, Train 360, Symbolic Photography, AMF, and Vinyl. All of my sponsors, shout out to them. My girlfriend for holding it down. My mom, my gym, Harris Holt Martial Arts. We're doing things. We're trying to come up. We got James Harrison fighting August 11th, Island Fights. We have Bree and Elijah fighting August 26th in Louisville for live MMA. So shout out to all of them people. Shout out to you two for allowing me to be on here and respected me enough to think that I'm a good enough candidate to be on your show. So thank you guys, and thank you anybody watching, and anybody that I've ever helped or you have taken something from me. Thank you for being there, because the people that I motivate, you guys are motivating me as well.
Hey, thank you, man. And I always like to say that it's a privilege to meet every single one of you and get to hear your story, because what James and I really pride ourselves on is the fact that we want to give you guys the best outlet and the best opportunity to not only speak your truth, but to, go out there and chase your dreams and set the example for everybody else to show that the impossible is possible.
Right. And we like to emphasize a lot on, the human side of the fighters, because you guys are seen in the octagon. You guys go out there, you throw hands for anywhere from 1 to 5 rounds, and then you're out, and they don't see any more of that unless you're the Conor McGregor or the Colby Covington, or the guys that are constantly in the spotlight for sometimes the bad shit. but they don't get to see, like you said, I work 58 hours a week. I coach in the gym. I train, and I just had a son. Like that right there in itself, it should paint a picture of what you guys are and who you guys are as individuals. So me myself, I want to make sure I emphasize and shed light on that more than anything.
Definitely appreciate you guys. And like you said, it's a privilege for you guys, but it's definitely a privilege for us because a lot of us we're not big names. We're not that big, and so it's a privilege for you to take somebody and help spread their name and help spread their face. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thank you, man.
Hopefully we see each other out here in Arizona in August. Harrison.
I hope so. I hope so, Harrison. You heard him.
But yeah, no. I thank you for coming on. Yeah, I really do.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hey, I
Definitely.
appreciate you, man. And hey, definitely we're gonna have to stay tuned because we're gonna have to see for your next fight. I'm excited now to see you fight, man. I really am.
I appreciate that, man. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be very entertained.
Nice,
Definitely.
nice.
All right, Alex. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you
All
guys
right,
be
peace,
safe.
man. Yeah, you too, man. You take care.
That was a fun one, man. That was a fun one. Um, it's like that now all the time. Every time we're done with an interview, it's always fun. It's
Hmm.
always fun. Meeting a lot of great guys, a lot of great fighters, women too, a lot of great women as well. So I enjoy it. I enjoy speaking with these guys and getting not only to learn about them, but get their story out there as well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy all the different personalities and people we've gotten to meet and to learn their stories, their truths, and see like what their motivation is, what they're fighting for, and it's just the gratefulness that comes full circle between us and the fighters and everybody around them, and just the whole circle.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, for those out there that do follow Throwing Hands, we got a nice lineup for you guys. Um, uh, we got a nice lineup for you guys coming up for the month of August. We have who else do we have? We have Trevor Beard coming on.
We
We
got
got
Greg Smith,
Greg the Gangster Smith,
Adam
Isaac
Lopez.
Adam Lopez, Isaac Zadaran. Isaac Zadaran will be next week. We got a lot of heavy hitters coming up.
Hmm.
Hopefully, I'm gonna see, but hopefully maybe we can get on Harrison here soon. So
Hey, that'd be fire. That'd be fire.
definitely, man, definitely. UFL's coming out here to Arizona again for UFL 3, and what a better way to do that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be excited because I know too. We also got Zarina Mayhem 30. She's gonna be fighting on the UFL card too.
Yep, Amun's gonna be on there like we talked about. That card is gonna be nice. It's already shaping up to be a really big card.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Um, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Um.
How'd you feel about Volkanovski the other day? Alex ended up winning again, exciting fashion. Another
Oh yeah.
really, 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 really strong opponent. I mean, that guy, man, he's working his way up on the pound for pound record.
Dude, no kidding. And the sense of urgency he has as well is incredible because like he's like not messing around. He's like, no, I only have a specific amount of time before my peak starts to go down. So I'm gonna ride this fucking wave for as long as I can. And it's crazy too, because like when he fought Jair, I thought straight up, I thought it was going to go the distance. I was actually in the chat with the Moon and and Alexander saying I thought I was going to go the distance because of how lethal of an opponent Yair is. But then I see the freaking how it ended. I'm like, holy shit, Alexander.
The dude is a badass, bro. It's like you can't you can't deny it. You say whatever you want, but you cannot deny it.
Mm-hmm. That rugby definitely came in clutch because it's like how Izzy said, because he was so heavy during his rugby career, when you're heavy like that, it's a different type of muscle because the fact you're having to carry all that weight and you're going through such intense workouts, like you see with construction workers and like pipe fitters too, for example, it's that heavy set in muscle. And the fact that Alex is able to translate his career in rugby and athleticism over to here. Like you saw how he went against Islam too.
Mm-hmm. No, he really does, man. I mean, yeah. So now we're moving on to UFC 291.
That's right.
Poirier versus Gaethje.
For the BMF belt, bro.
Who to you is the baddest motherfucker right now?
I absolutely love Gaethje's style, but I think right now it's gonna be Poirier. He's too technically sound with his violence.
Poirier
Yep.
is a destroyer. He's a destroyer. Gaethje gives me that, like, I'm gonna whoop your ass, but I'm really waiting to catch you slipping.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's gonna have those opportunities with Poirier.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. It's what I like about Poirier's style too, because it's a lot of the pick and roll in boxing and how his guard is. Like even Max Holloway in between rounds said he guards weird because he flares his elbow up purposely. So if you end up punching
Spike
his
that
elbow,
bitch.
yeah, you can break your hand on that shit, fool. Like straight up.
Right?
And you saw the first time he fought Gaethje, and then when he fought Chandler as well, he was just when he picked up on that read. Boom, capitalized, got the job done.
Yeah. So who you got out of this one?
You know, we can say looking
It's one of
at
those, huh?
no, well, so my heart wants Alex, but logically speaking, I feel like it's going to be on Blachowicz because if you look at the wrestling gap between Jan and Izzy when they fought, and then you look at how Izzy was able to utilize wrestling versus Alex, I feel like if Jan goes the wrestling route or grappling, it's going to be big trouble for Alex.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I think that the way that he got beat in that last fight is gonna take a toll on him for the next few fights. Alex. So I don't think that this is gonna be a bounce back fight for Alex. I think he's gonna get beat by Jan. I think that Alex is gonna have a 2 or 3 fight losing streak before he gets another one in. But rotating back real quick to John's question, um, I don't know, man. I think the opposite. I think that Gaethje, with his style, I think with his style, I think that Poirier is going to put more damage on him. I think Gaethje's more is like I said, Gaethje's more of an opportunist than Poirier is.
Yeah.
So I feel like Gaethje's going to get his ass whooped.
And he even said too, he doesn't believe in backing up. He leans
Right.
into everything and he just takes it and he throws at the same time looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, so I think opposite, John. I think Gaethje, he needs the KO more than Poirier. I think Poirier is going to put more damage on Gaethje throughout the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, especially cardio wise too. I think Poirier is gonna just have the cardio over it.
Yeah, Gaethje in 4. But yeah, I got Yan over Alex.
Yeah.
What about this one?
Man, I would have originally gone with Michael Piera at first, but after seeing the showcase between Steven and Kevin Holland, I don't know. I'm pretty 50-50.
I know what I'm picking on this one, and it's plain and simple. I'm going with what's the name? Thompson.
Yeah.
Easy.
You're on Wonder Boy?
Thompson, yeah, easy.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning a bit towards him because after seeing his performance against Kevin Holland, I thought that was dope as fuck. But I'm also like he is getting up there in age. He even he said himself in an interview like he's starting to get up there in age.
I mean, yeah, he is, but no, I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is gonna be one of those wild ones for him.
Hmm.
He's gonna knock him out. Yeah, I got a knockout right here.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild just because of Pereira's style. Like he loves to incorporate Capora, and he's flashy too. He likes to jump off the cage. He likes to do all these crazy things.
Right. Um, let's see what else we got. Bobby Green, Tony Ferguson.
Truthfully, I my okay, so I absolutely love Tony Ferguson. Like the whole persona of El Kukui, like I was loving that, and then just see, just the unfortunate path it's been. I want Tony to win, but I don't know. I think he's close to retirement.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think this is a retirement fight.
Hmm.
Especially it's Bobby. Bobby's a heavy-handed dude. He's gonna lay some smackaroosies on him. It's gonna be a slugfest towards the end of this fight. Um, I just hope that Tony doesn't get a vicious, wild hand. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm hoping this is gonna be like Lawler's
Yeah.
farewell. I'm hoping that Tony can come out here and have a good performance. But I'm going Tony just because I fuck with Tony and I'm
Hmm.
hoping that he can pull this one out. But I would not be surprised if Bobby knocks him out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I got my fingers crossed. Tony's gonna win.
Yeah, no, it could be some crazy one on this one. Let's see. Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland. I'm sorry, Kevin Holland.
We got to talk about this one, huh?
Kevin Hall. It's man, I fuck with Kevin Hall. I love that guy. He's such a dope dude, and I'm pretty sure this is a returning fight for Michael Chiesa too. And no
Yeah.
disrespect to him whatsoever, but man, Kevin Holland, he's wild like that, bro.
Yeah, no, you're right. Um, Trevin Giles, Gabriel Bonfim. I don't know too much about Gabe. I know Giles. I think he's off. He's coming off a win recently.
Oh yeah, he looks like the favorite too.
Yeah, I think he's coming off a win. Derek Lewis and De Lima. So I'm picking Darius. Derek. Ooh, hold on. Bobby Green in 3 rounds. I can't even argue with you, Joe John. That's what I was saying
Hmm.
with the Tony one, man. It's gonna be rough. I'm hoping Tony wins. If he wins, though, I'm thinking Tony's gonna knock him out. It's gonna stop the fight. If it goes to decision, I think Bobby wins.
Hmm. And speaking of which, I really hope Derek wins too. I love his personality, and he's such a dope dude. But it's been hard for him recently.
Yeah, but it's also been hard for Marcos. I think Marcos just won his last fight.
See, I'm
Uh,
actually not too familiar with Marcos.
Let me see real quick. I think he just won his last fight. Uh, De Lima.
I gotta pull up Damien's.
Let's
So
see.
I don't think it's gonna be an upset. Me personally, I feel like I'm not gonna be surprised if Kevin wins.
Yeah, so Marcos is on a 2-fight win streak.
2-fight win streak. Okay, and Derek, he's what, on a 3-fight losing streak right now, or a 2-fight?
Derek is on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I would have thought the extra reach in the same scenario with Tai Tuivasa, but Tai Tuivasa was able to get in there, and start catching him. So I don't know.
Yeah, Marcos ain't Tuivasa. Marcos ain't Tuivasa. That's
That's
for
true.
sure.
That's true.
And the other thing though, I mean, the opponents that Derek was just fighting, Pavlovich, Tuivasa, Gain, like
They're all champion potential.
Right.
Like right up there.
So I don't know. I think Marcos might be in a little bit too deep for him. I think he might get his head clocked. Uh, Kopilov and Claudio Ribeiro. I don't know too much about Ribeiro. I think Kopilov. Um, I think Kopilov just had a win as well. I think he's coming off a win. Let me double check on him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's coming off a 2-fight win streak. So we'll see about him. I'm taking Roman on this one.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with either or, but I am a little bit familiar with Jake Matthews. I actually like him. He's a pretty cool dude.
Jake Matthews.
Yeah.
See,
I don't.
Darius Flowers is making his UFC debut. He trains with Bilal Muhammad.
Oh.
So I'm actually kind of interested in this fight, a little bit invested in this one because I want to see, what Flowers can bring to the table, especially coming from the same gym as Bilal Muhammad right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, this should be a good fight. Jake Matthews is not no slouch at all.
Oh yeah, he's a brawler and he's technical with it too.
Yeah, I like that. Don't know too much about them. Need it. Okay. But yeah. It should be a good one. I'm excited for that one. I'm gonna be square, front and center. Thanks, Damien. Thanks, John. Thanks everybody else who stopped by. If you like what you see, drop a share. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know how it goes. Other than that, man, we'll be back here next week on Tuesday. We'll have Isaac Zadaran on. He'll be fighting at Rough Nations, Rough 55 here in August. So that should be fun. I think the following week, we're going to have on Trevor Beard. Who y'all got in the Spence fight? So I will be headed to Vegas Friday night, hopefully to cover the Earl Spence after party. A little bit of red carpet. I got Earl Spence. I mean, come on, man. What you mean?
Yeah, like I don't know too much about either orcs. I'm still learning more and more about boxing, but just from the presence and the difference in training, I got Spence too.
Look, Damien, I don't know, bro. I don't know if you've been watching the press conferences or not even the press conferences, just been what they've been saying, what's been leaked about what they've been saying. Earl just looks prepared and ready, man. He looks ready to go. Terrence, it looks like he's looking ahead. And, these are two great talents, too good of a talent on both sides of the fence to be looking past the fight. And then I saw the thing on Twitter where Terrence Crawford's sister said that she was rooting for Earl Spence too. So I don't know, bro. we'll see how that works.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. Lucky bastard, but hey, it's still gonna be dope.
It was fucking Canton.
I know, bro. That Canton trip, like
I ain't even
everything
gonna
was
say
great.
Canton no more. It was fucking Frontier.
Yeah, Frontier and Enterprise.
More Frontier. We shouldn't even have to peak to Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Frontier.
But you know what?
Shit together.
I know, bro. But I mean, hey, it's like what we were talking about with Alexander just earlier. It's like we all know what the result is going to be when you're given what you want, but what are you going to do when the going gets tough? And now we're literally seeing live action what we're going to do when going gets tough.
Right. Hey, like that girl said, Josh. He was ugly, but he owned the farm. That's an inside joke for that one. That will never die. You know what I mean? That was hilarious.
I'm still sad I missed that night. I was just so dead, dude. So I was so tired.
Right, David? Right? I said, yeah. Your sister ain't even gonna walk to the ring with you. Like she go, nah, it ain't gonna work, bro.
My God.
If your mama gets an autograph from Earl, it's over.
Oh my God! It's like with Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman the first time they fought. Tyron's mom just immediately after the fight went, hugged Kamaru and all that.
I bet. All right, man. Anything you want to say before we hop out of here?
No, I think we're all set to go. Definitely stay tuned, people, for next week. You know, we're going to have Isaac Zadarain, who's going to fight for Rough 55 on August 26th. The dude's an absolute badass, and it was another phenomenal interview that we are going to fucking love. And we're gonna have fun. You know, it's all about having fun and enjoying the experience of all this and getting to meet and interact with all these fighters and getting to know their story.
Agreed 100%, man. So like I said, we're here every Tuesday. We did take a hiatus. We was on like Pride says, a sabbatical. We was on a sabbatical. No, but we took a small hiatus. We're back in full effect. We had to spread our wings a little bit, but we're back in full effect. There's a lot of exciting stuff on the schedule coming up. A lot of exciting fighters we'll be interviewing. If you haven't yet, follow us on Instagram, Throwing Hands 23. That's where you'll see a lot of our coverage. You'll see a lot of you'll stay up to date with what's going on with Throwing Hands, what we're doing throughout the week, on the weekends, things like that, with the fighters here. And you know, Harrison, if you're watching, I know you're watching, Harrison. I know you're watching. But no, for real, if you're watching, get Alexander on the card. That'd be great. That'd be great to see. So other than that, man, you know, we'll be back next week on Tuesday. I'm James.
And I'm Josh. Peace.
And this is Throwing Hands.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled, I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They gon' knock him, tell him fess up, I get checked up, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless, yeah, I got next up, right, now we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to